The FIA and F1 recently confirmed that Formula 1 won't be conducting races in the Americas, which meant that the Brazilian Grand Prix stands cancelled for now. The Grand Prix organisers and Sao Paulo's mayor feel that this wasn't the right move, as they feel that Sao Paulo has been combating the pandemic on a similar level to the European locations that are hosting F1 races this year. They now feel that not having an F1 race could prove detrimental to the entirety of Brazilian motorsport. I'm your host Dylan Shelley, and first up on Formula World, Brazilian motorsport could be dead for 40 years. Brazilian Grand Prix promoter Tamas Rohonyi began by explaining how important Formula 1 is to racing as a whole in Brazil, while also pointing out its rich racing heritage. A lot of people depend on this, not only in F1, but all the other categories. I like to believe it's an important venue, if only because of the tradition we have here. Brazilian drivers have won 8 times the World Championship. He then explained why it could mean the decline of racing in Brazil. Frankly, I spoke to the president of the Brazilian ASN and he said to me, if you lose the race, Brazilian motor racing will be dead for the next 40 years. Because all these kids who drive karts, they hope one day to go to F1, but they will stop. He further emphasized this by pointing out how the same thing happened to tennis in the country. You know, we had one time a very great tennis player, Gustavo Kuerten, who won the French Open more than once. So when this guy was really sort of the big star at Roland Garros, dozens of kids took up tennis. The moment he disappeared, all the kids went to play football again. Brazil has a rich history in F1, with drivers like Ayrton Senna being counted among the greatest ever. However, many feel that racing has been in decline, as can be surmised from the fact that there are no Brazilian drivers currently on the grid. Fast feed. Former F1 driver turned commentator David Coulthard believes that Racing Point is more likely to win a race this year than Ferrari. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has revealed that he is never comfortable with a head start and feels that if they lose once and Verstappen wins, the championship is almost even. Ferrari Sebastian Vettel thinks that the win can play a very important role at Silverstone because it can somehow seriously affect the car. He further elaborated by saying it can make it very difficult to drive, or it can help the driver even more to get what he wants. McLaren's Lando Norris feels that Mugello is not the best track to race on, and he doesn't expect to see overtaking between the first and last corner. He also thinks that Lewis is a better driver than his teammate Valtteri Bottas. He has proven that in recent years. He also can't see any reason why Lewis won't win at Silverstone next Sunday unless his car fails him. Former F1 driver Nick Heidfeld thinks that Racing Point could be a good option for Sebastian Vettel, especially because of the Mercedes engine. That would work for both parties, but especially for the team. Former F1 test driver Tom Coronel feels that Ferrari's complete focus on 2022 is a sensible move. Until then, it's beyond repair. Ferrari Charles Leclerc revealed that when he thinks of Silverstone, he is reminded of 2 things, the speed of the circuit and the cold. Red Bull has assigned Simon Rennie as Alex Albon's race engineer from the next race. Rennie was Mark Webber's and Daniel Ricciardo's race engineer during their time as Red Bull drivers. Renault's Daniel Ricciardo has revealed that Silverstone is a special circuit for him because that's where he made his Formula 1 debut in 2011. Red Bull's Max Verstappen has stated that he won't mind if it starts raining at Silverstone because that might shake things up. Lando Norris has said that their protests against racism will continue until there is change and they have made the impact they intended to make. Silverstone boss Stuart Pringle has come out saying that racing without fans is going to put their company back some 5 years in terms of balance sheet position. And Williams' George Russell expects to go back to their reality, which is probably a more similar pace to what was seen in the first week of Austria. Who is more likely to win a race in 2020, Racing Point or Ferrari? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.